and I've been employed by Cruiseco as of the 1st of February to look after the authentic product. So that's Authentic Asia and Authentic America. So this morning we're going to be talking about the gorgeous Louisiane, which is just being introduced as a brand new product for Cruiseco, and you'll see this gorgeous photo which is actually in Natchez, and that's the Twin Oaks that you look at and all the lovely southern houses. So we're going to go through, I've only received some of the information this morning, so it's all quite new to me as well. Unfortunately, I don't have itineraries. They haven't actually sent them over for my webinar this morning at this stage. So if you don't mind, if you can also, while we're going along, have the brochure in front of you, and when we get further into the PowerPoint where we're looking at the map, and I'll go through some of the itineraries, if you can have a look at your brochure while we're doing that. But I do have some gorgeous photos to show you for the renderings, the bed, the cabins, and also some of the interior and exterior shots. So I think you'll be really, really impressed, as I am. So just to go through, oh, now I'm frozen, fabulous. Doesn't seem to be moving. Hang on a second, I'm sorry. Greg, help, it's frozen.
You might want to try and close the PowerPoint down and open it again.
Okay. Oh, there we are. Perfect. Okay, so I'll just make sure I didn't go too far when I was pressing buttons left, right, and centre. Right, so Louisiane, it's a we're spending multi-million dollars on the refurbishment at the moment. You may have heard of her before. She was built in 2000 and she was called the Columbia Queen, and she was cruising up in Portland, Oregon. So we transferred her down the west coast on a barge, which would have been interesting to watch, and into New Orleans, and we're spending $250 million refurbishing it. Cruiseco have we don't own the ship outright, so you will find on the ship there'll be other passengers from America, Europe, South Africa, and South America that they market to as well. But it is exclusive to Cruiseco, and we do have a financial interest in the product as well. It's being completely gutted at the moment, so that's why when I show you the photos, they are all renderings, so artist impressions. They're not the actual cabins as yet. And it will be completed, and the first sailing will be on the 22nd of August, and I'll talk to you about that as we go on as well. It's really the America's only true boutique river cruise experience. It has 150 guests, so 75 staterooms. And I guess if you look at the competition that you're selling in Australia, probably is the American Queen, and so comparing her to the American Queen has around 450 guests. And also the American Queen does only the Mississippi, so 9-day itineraries up and down the Mississippi. You'll see here the big difference with us is that we have 150 guests and we sail the 6 US waterways. So the Mississippi, the Ohio, Cumberland, Tennessee and Red Rivers, and also the first ship of its kind ever to go down into the Gulf. I do have a map that I'll talk to you, we'll show up where the rivers are as well as we go along. We're very lucky to have the chef de cuisine, Regina Charbonneau, who is very famous in America, and actually if you Google her, she's really very interesting. She's been on the NBC Today show, and she's very well known in Natchez. She lives in Natchez in one of those beautiful, gorgeous southern homes, and so she looks after all of our menus on board. It's very southern and French inspired menus. The ambience on board is casual, but sophisticated, elegant, I would say refined. And we're looking at premium luxury here. As I said, launching on the 22nd of August. Complimentary one-night pre-cruise on all of our itineraries in deluxe hotels is included. We also include the Traveller Collection complimentary shore excursions in every port of call, and all drinks are included, so everything, all the house select wines, the house brand spirits and the beers, artisanal coffees, teas and soft drinks all included. They also have the amazing Natura system on board, where they have sparkling and still water that this system makes. And basically it's saving the environment, because rather than putting lots of bottles of water on board, this system actually makes the sparkling still water, and they're in your cabin, in the cabins, in beautiful glass carafes and replenished every day, and or quite a lot during the day. Complimentary 24-hour room service, complimentary Wi-Fi is also included throughout the ship, and also in the suites they have complimentary private car transfers between ship, airport and hotel, and they also get a complimentary curator collection of shore excursions, so a smaller group. The actual shore excursions, the groups are no more than 30 guests for all the other cabins, and then we also have the quiet box system where they can listen into the tour guide as well, which we all like. Makes it much easier and much nicer to tour. And the exclusive touches, so the bath amenities are Hermes in all suites and L'Occitane in all the staterooms. Each stateroom has an iPad, which is quite exclusive, and nobody else has that on the rivers. And I love the idea of the iPads, because the iPads actually, apart from the fact that they can use it to interact and talk to their families back home and so on, but they can also load it on the iPads are books that they can read that are relevant to the areas that they're in. They also have the pillow menu on board on the iPad, so they can order different pillows if they're not happy with the pillows that they have in their cabin. There's 8 different types of pillows that they can order from. There are also the menus of the restaurants that are on there. They can choose what they're going to have for dinner that night or have a look over that as well. We also have the beautiful ladere macaroons in every stateroom and suite upon arrival, and then every night they actually ship out from Paris the unique Rouge chocolates based on the pillows every night, so that's something quite special as well. Beautiful pillows and mattresses and linens and spa quality bathrobes and slippers are also in every cabin as well. I've already mentioned about the Regina Charbonneau, but she did study in Paris. She lives in Twin Oaks in Natchez, and she also owns a tavern in Natchez as well. If you've been to San Francisco, you may have actually visited her Regina's at the Regis Hotel, and she also has a nightclub called Biscuits and Blues, so you may have already been there yourselves. The Orleans room, I should say, is fine dining. So it's open sitting and guests can dine when and with whom they wish. There's 4-course meals. It's elegant setting and country club casual attire. Reservations are accepted. If people like to reserve a particular time and a particular table, they can do that. It's silver carp with fast to order beautiful prime rib, and of course the salad is prepared tableside as well. So as it says, fine dining, and there's some examples of the beautiful menus that we have on board there as well. And there's casual dining at the same time in the veranda restaurant, and that's open for breakfast, lunch and dinner. It has beautiful panoramic views with glass all around, and obviously French bistro sort of type traditional fare. And you can see lunch items such as chicken and andouille, gombo, salad niçoise. So there's definitely that French and Cajun sort of flair in the menus. Entertainment, every port we sort of bring different people on to entertain our guests. There's jazz, blues, bluegrass and big band sort of entertainment as well, and that's in the River Lounge. The quiet spaces are in the River Lounge to play cards and so on. The cocktails are in the Bar Royale. The music nightly is in the French Quarter Lounge, and then the Orleans room, which is the fine dining room, is actually converts to a stylish cabaret after dinner, so people can stay there after dinner and enjoy the cabaret there as well. Also in each port we'll be bringing on keynote speakers, so there'll be noted professors and authors and historians talking about the different areas and the history, so people are definitely going to learn about where they're going and where they've been as well. We also have a fitness on board, a spa, and also a small gym. The cuisine is called Currents Cuisine for those that want to have sort of the healthy alternative, and we offer that as well. So there are 75 staterooms. There are 2 suites, the 2 Richelieu suites, and the 4 categories of outside staterooms on the different decks: panorama, veranda, promenade and French balcony. And then there's 2 categories of inside staterooms, so there's the deluxe and the superior. And I have some photos actually of some sort of artist impressions of the actual cabins. So this is the Richelieu suite, which looks absolutely gorgeous. I love the colours. So I think you'll find, looking at it, it's going to be very tasteful, very elegant. It's not going to be gaudy or anything like that, so you won't see all that sort of velvet mock wallpaper and gaudy colours that you kind of envisage as a southern sort of paddle steamer would have. It's very understated, very elegant, and I just love these colours here leading out onto the balcony. So the Richelieu suite, of which there are two, your guests will receive complimentary transfers, as I mentioned, from the airport. Round trip. They also have evening canapes, complimentary, and the curator collection, so the small group tours. So, excuse me. In actual fact, they also get to go and visit, if they're going on the itineraries that visit Natchez, they will go to Regina's house, and they'll have a cooking class, if you like, and there will be a maximum of 8 people in that class, and they will be part of it, and Regina will be taking the class herself, so that's quite special. There's also fresh fruit and flowers and delivered in the cabin on arrival as well. This is the panorama lounge, the panorama cabin, I should say. Oh, the Richelieu suites, for those of you that are into sort of sizes, and the square metres are 23 to 25 square metres in the Richelieu suites. The panorama suite is 19 square metres and leads out onto the little balcony there. There's another shot of the panorama suite as well. I really love the colours. This is the veranda suite. It's 160, oh sorry, I'm talking square feet. It's 15 square metres, and then there's a 4 square metre private veranda of the veranda cabins. The promenade cabin, which leads out onto the promenade, you can see there, and that's 15 square metres, and leads out onto the promenade. And then we also have the French balcony staterooms, have their own little French balconies, private balconies, and they're 20.5 square metres. And then we have the deluxe interior cabins that lead out onto around the balcony, and also the superior leading out. So I think you'll agree, it looks beautiful, very tasteful, very elegant, as they said. We also have the French balcony French balcony area here, which leads out, from the restaurant, the veranda restaurant. So you can dine out here when the casual dining with the veranda restaurant and beautiful views looking out. And this is the veranda restaurant. So this is the French bistro, casual dining, so you can dine in here or dine outside on that veranda there. The public spaces, the French Quarter Lounge and the Great River Lounge and the Bar Royale. So you can see she's very clubby looking in the French Quarter Lounge, and that's where we'll have some soft jazz in there. The Great River Lounge, which is the quiet area, playing cards and quiet, enjoy a movie, and the Bar Royale for a nice aperitif from prior to dinner. And then the exteriors of the ship. This is looking very beautiful, aren't they? I love the yellow umbrellas there as well, leading. So you can obviously see these are artist impressions, but there she is, looking in all of her glory, looking very tasteful, powering up the rivers, as you can see. Now in your offices you should have the Authentic America brochure that you can see there. That's the current brochure, which goes through till the end of this year. The 2017 itineraries have just arrived, so the marketing team will be working on putting out a new brochure as soon as possible, which will include the 2017 and some of the 2016 itineraries for the end of the year, because you probably have heard that we were going to be starting on the 8th of August and launching on the 8th of August, but due to the fact that we are going out into the Gulf of Mexico, it's the first time a ship of its kind has done that. Their marine people over there, like the Maritime Services people over there, have there's a bit of red tape that they have to go through, and it's taking a little bit longer than they would have liked. So we've actually put back the launch date to the 22nd of August. So the new brochure, which will come out with 2016 and 17, will have that new date, and it's affected the first 4 itineraries basically. You should also have, and the Authentic America brochure, is the FIT brochure. We also have an exclusive charter to Cruiseco, which is Rhythms of the Deep South. This was actually originally exclusive only to the Azamara guests who are doing the Azamara charter on the eastern seaboard into New Orleans, and then the 14-day itinerary on to Louisiana. But maybe whether it's because it was brought out a bit late or whatever reason, we've opened it up now to everybody. So we've brought out the new brochure that doesn't mention that it's exclusive only to Azamara charter people. that it's open to everybody. It's from the 26th of October to the 9th of November. It's a 14-night itinerary, and I do have a map, and I'd like to go through that with you as I go a little bit further down. But at the moment, if we can just look at the main brochure, the map, you'll see all the rivers and where they are. So you can see they all come off the Mississippi River, and then down the bottom you've got to the left, near Louisiana, Shreveport River. And then we have Tennessee, Cumberland River and Ohio rivers off to the right, where Louisville, Nashville, Pittsburgh, leading up there. And then you have Red River right up the top where St. Paul is, leading off the Mississippi, going up to Minnesota. So all those rivers, they were the only ones that go out into all of the rivers that over there. Plus that one, as I mentioned, coming down from New Orleans to Pensacola out into the Gulf, Mexico. That's a first for any ship of this kind or riverboat of this kind. If we can just have a look while we're on this, if you've got the brochure in front of you, I just really would like to just point out some of the selling points of some of the itineraries. I'm not going to go through all of them, but there's some really interesting things about some of the itineraries that I think you should know. So if you're looking at your brochure, hopefully page 8, the Orange Blossom Sunset, 5 nights, 6 days, that's the one that goes out into the Gulf. Biloxi apparently is very much, has lots of casinos. It's also when you disembark in Pensacola. Pensacola, I'm told, is the most beautiful beaches in America, and I've Googled it and they do look rather gorgeous. And then you can also drive for about an hour to Tampa, which is sort of Gulf country. So if you have golf enthusiasts, they might like to do this little one here and then go and finish up in Tampa and play some golf at it's one of the famous golf courses there. So that's something that might interest the golfers. Jewels of the Heartland and St. Louis through to St. Paul. Just pointing out some of the Hannibal. Hannibal is, oh, sorry, my phone. Turn that off. Hannibal is known, it's very charming. It's where sort of Huck Finn, Tom Sawyer, it's the Mark Twain country. So that's where he's sort of written all about that. So if you've read those books, you can picture that completely. Then we sort of visit Davenport, Dubuque and La Crosse. There's very much a French influence in those areas there. Going across to page 10, just quickly touching on Southern Spirit, the 20 December itinerary is the Christmas itinerary and beautiful Christmas lights along the rivers there. So if you're interested, if you've got clients that are looking for something different to do for Christmas, maybe that might be the one. If we just go across to page 11, Splendors of the South. So we've got New Orleans, Oak Alley, Natchez, of course, and finishing up in New Orleans. It's a nice little touch. A nice short 5 night, 6 day itinerary. It's in good time to go in October and it's good weather. It's around about 25 degrees and it's a really nice time to visit the South. Plantation Celebration, and there's in Greenville, that goes from Memphis to New Orleans. So in Greenville on day 3 there's a vintage train, dinner on a vintage train there, which is part of the shore excursions. And we also, people who are interested in battlefields, you will notice that we visit Baton Rouge on day 6. And also in Baton Rouge, there's an airboat ride included in the shore excursions. And so the airboat ride goes through all the marshes and there's alligators everywhere. And it's very much Creole and Cajun food everywhere. And apparently, I'm told, a very unique accent and culture around that area in Louisiana. Across the page, in page 12, the Red River Holiday very much focuses, I think, on easy to say, Natchitoches in Louisiana. Apparently they have famous for their Christmas lights display all along the river, and that's our 7 December departure. The antebellum style, of course, very southern, all those beautiful southern homes, southern history. That's where the Twin Oaks, we have 2 days in Natchez there, so they'll see very much a lot of history about slavery and all that sort of thing on that particular itinerary. The Southern Rhythms and the Frontier Fete are very much around Nashville music, country music, people who are interested in that. Going across to page 14, we have Memphis to Louisville, and Louisville apparently is very cosmopolitan. People don't quite expect it to be as cosmopolitan and lots of restaurants and really interesting place to go as well. I think my favourite out of all the itineraries, if I'm allowed to say this, is this one, the American Adventure. It's a 7 nights, 8 day itinerary between Louisville, Pittsburgh, or in the reverse, Pittsburgh to Louisville. And it's very windy if you look at that river, and hopefully when I get the correct maps I'll be able to share that with you. But it's beautiful topography, very windy, hilly, green. And if anyone has seen bridges over Madison County, we visit Madison in Indiana, so you can imagine what the scenery would be like there. But it's a very, very beautiful itinerary, that particular one. The Bluegrass Grandeur on page 15. St. Louis, it's got great history, heritage, architecture. It's also from St. Louis. It's got good airlift as well. It's a 5-hour drive to Chicago, or 3 hours on the Amtrak to Chicago. So it's kind of a nice way to either begin an American holiday, and so use some of these as their component, or finish. So that's touching on the itineraries. And if we can just go down to the cruises, as I mentioned, there's 5 days or less. We call them sampler cruises. The classic cruise tours, 6 to 8 days. Grand cruise tours, 9 days or more. And the collector's cruise tours are very, very late there as well. And I've already mentioned the shore excursions and the curator collection as well. I won't go through that one again. So the Rhythms of the Deep South. So here's the map for Rhythms of the Deep South. This is the 14-night exclusive charter. This is a one-off. No other riverboat cruise boat has ever done anything like this, and probably won't ever do that. Steve has put this itinerary together, and it goes right up from New Orleans right up to Nashville. As I said, it's a 14-day itinerary. You have the brochures there, but it is really unique, and we'll have amazing sort of lecturers and everything coming on board as well. So that's a very quick overview of the new Louisiane. As I said, it's all very new to me as well, and she's still being built. So I hope I've given you enough information to sort of understand the product, the type of people who would like it, and also the itineraries. So can I have any questions, please? Oh, thank you, Max. Just read your question. So I'm open for questions if you'd like to ask.